All right, I'm running.
We were in dry dock at, it wasn't dry dock, but we were undergoing sea trials after dry dock. We were in San Diego. I was a ship swimmer, and I was electrician, electronic technician, communications. Anyway, we're getting ready to go to Nam, and we're having sea trials, and I had one of the single sideband transmitters wasn't working, and I went up and pulled the antenna coil down, and was going to replace it, but we didn't have a replacement on the ship, and we looked up the cost of it, and it was in the thousands and thousands of dollars. This is in the 60s, and it was like 20 grand. I didn't understand why, because I know it's just a coil. Anyway, I threw it in the ET office. I was also ship scrounger. I'm the one that went out and scrounged things, traded stuff, got stuff we needed, and we needed that part. So I went to the civilians had the civilians ran the electronic shop on the base, and they'd fix stuff for us. We take it over there. We didn't have time for them to fix ours. I went over there, looked around. They had all the pallets outside with all the stuff on it that was going back to ships with tags on it. And I found, located the part I needed.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually sitting on a what do you call it? The wood platform for the forklift.
Pallet.
It's actually sitting on a pallet with a ship's name on it, another destroyer just like ours. So what I did was, I went back over to the motor pool, and I stole a Navy pickup truck. I didn't steal it, I borrowed it. You don't need keys because they're battle ready. You started without a key. And I did it at lunchtime because all the civilians that were running the repair shops and stuff at noon, they took their lunch break. Anyway, I showed up at noon, about noon 30, in the Navy truck, and I walked up to the guys sitting there, two of them eating their lunch, and I told them I was from the other destroyer, and I was here to pick up my single sideband transceiver. And I said, that's it over there. And they said, well, you got to come back at 1 unless you want to load it yourself. I said, it's not heavy, I'll load it myself. Threw it in the truck, drove it to my ship, got it on my ship, took the truck back to where I got it, went back to the ship, and took the serial number plate off of theirs, took the serial number plate off of ours, and I put it on theirs, and I went and hooked theirs back up, and everything was working, so everybody was happy. And I got to wondering why the part was so expensive. So I opened up the one we had.
Is that my aunt?
What?
I said, is that my aunt?
Yeah. Might as well stop.
Part 3, crypto gear.
I took it apart, see what it was made out of. It had a big coil in there, looked like it was platinum. Lieutenant was standing behind me, and Lieutenant's the one that always sent me scrounging. He'd give me stuff I needed to trade and things of that nature, and he's the one that sent me out to get it. At any rate, scared the shit out of him when he saw. I said to him, I says, hey, we could sell this platinum. And it scared the shit out of him because he thought he'd get caught for us stealing that other ship's coupler. So he said, no, he says, deep six it right now. And I said, well, why don't I wait till dark? And he says, you deep six it right now. So I walked out of the ET shop and I dropped it overboard. This was on a Thursday, I think. Thursday or Friday. Anyway, the weekend came up, and the lieutenant didn't have duty, so he wasn't on the ship. So I told Lieutenant Trusky had it over the weekend. Lieutenant Wyatt was his name, the one that left, and knew about it all. And I went up to Lieutenant Trusky and I told him I needed to make a dive. I had to check the propeller shaft on the ship. He didn't know any better, and he says, yeah, okay. And whenever I went in the water, they had to assign a gunner's mate to stand there with the M1, believe it or not, and in case sharks came. Kind of a stupid thing, but that's what the Navy did. And they weren't supposed to shoot the shark. They were supposed to shoot near it and scare it, not put blood in the water. Kill it if they had to, but then I'd have to get out of the water. Anyway, I got all my scuba gear, was about to go over the side, right where I dropped that son of a bitch, and Lieutenant Wyatt came aboard with his wife and his kids to show him the ship, because they lived in San Diego. And he saw me with the tank on, going over the side, and he stopped that. And that coupler still sits there at Pier 11 in San Diego. It's probably buried under 40 feet of silt by now.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know what it'd be worth today, but it damn sure was worth a lot of money then.
Straight platinum, huh?
That's pretty much it.
The other part of that, I don't know, I always remember you say you used to kick everybody out of the radio room and say you had to work on stuff.
Yeah, I was a crypto tech.
So you could hang out in the air conditioning.
Whenever the Navy had a school, an elective school, they wanted somebody to go to, I'd always volunteer. That's how I became ship swimmer and ship photographer. And I went to crypto school. And crypto was, you had to have a top secret crypto clearance. And just having a top secret clearance didn't get you to look inside the crypto gear. You had to have a top secret crypto clearance, which I had. And so whenever I went, once a day, I'd have to go in the crypto room, kick everybody out, shut the hatch, open up the machine, and it was like a bunch of wires. And every day I got a new, over the crypto gear, I got a new sequence of where to put the wires. It's like an Enigma machine.
Right.
And if the other ship doesn't have the wires in exactly the same place you do, they don't get nothing. They get gibberish, and they can't decode it. And I had to do that once a day, change the sequence once a day. And it'd take me about 5 minutes. And I'd stay in there an hour and a half every time. I'd either sleep, read a book.
Coolest place on the ship?
It was the only place that had air conditioning on the ship.
Because of the gear?
It was hotter than hell in the South China Sea.
Yeah. Well, air conditioning was a rare commodity?
Didn't have air conditioning on ships.
Well, they had one in there.
They only put it there because of the equipment. It needed it.
It overheated and mess up?
Yeah. Yeah. They weren't interested in air conditioning.
So what, you kick your feet up and sit sleeping up?
Yeah, I just kick back and go to sleep for an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's it.